I'm Not Dead by Supernatural is Life for You and Me. Tony absolutely adored Spider-Man. The vigilante was like the son he never had. He knew the rest of the team loved the kid too. Spidey was just a beam of joy in the dark world of fighting crime. They had no idea who the kid really was, but they respected him enough not to go digging for his identity. It had all started when Wanda joined the team. She had complained about Spider-Man being a menace. Steve had believed her at first and had gone to confront Spidey. Instead of fighting, the two had talked it out. It wasn't long after that they found out that Wanda was using her powers to manipulate the situation. Once Wanda was gone, the team became a family again, though they had a new spider child. Over the years, they got used to fighting together, everyone assuming that Spidey was older than 18. Whether it was blissful ignorance or they just didn't want to believe it, the team didn't think that the kid was an actual, kid. It was just like any normal day when it happened. Battle broke out with Doc Ock, Spider-Man appearing at the scene before anyone else. Awesome to see you guys, but, mental health? Spidey squeaks out, swinging out of reach of an octopus arm. He felt a bit out of it, so he was relieved to see the team arrive. We're on it, kid, Tony promises, the team working together to take Doc Ock down. It was a tiny bit more difficult than usual, considering that the Doctor had somehow gotten a hold of decent supplies. The team communicated as they fought, and soon the villain was arrested. Spidey hadn't even realized he got slashed until Steve had pointed it out. Son, let's go see Cho, the captain comments, paling slightly when he saw all the blood. When did that even happen? He swore to God he would have seen the incident. Oh no, I'm fine. It looks worse than it is, Spidey promises, looking down at the scratch marks going across his chest. I'm just going to go home. I'll heal in like an hour anyway. Be safe, kiddo, Clint says, worried even though he knew Spidey well enough to know he was telling the truth. You know I won't, Spidey says with a grin, swinging away. The Avengers went back to cleaning up, chatting about random things as they worked, trying to hide their concern for Spider-Man. Peter had patched himself up and changed as soon as he made it back to his apartment. He knew he probably should have gone to Cho, but he figured the doctor would be busy and he didn't want to be a bother. Plus, it wasn't really that bad. It looked worse than it was. So, he just shoved his suit in a garbage bag after getting cleaned up. It was basically ripped to shreds. It wasn't salvageable. He needed a newer one anyway. He and Tony had been talking about a new design. Thinking nothing of it, he took out his trash. He figured he'd take all the trash out while he was at it, not noticing the bag with his suit dripping with blood. He decided to take a break for a couple of days to make sure he healed up fully. He did see the rumours floating around that Spider-Man was dead, but he figured he'd just clear that up later. Then the evidence came out. Someone leaked CCTV footage of Spider-Man entering an apartment building, and then Peter Parker taking out the bloody trash. Peter sighed to himself and exited his room, thankful that May was still out. He figured he'd just clear this up with Tony, and everything would be fine. He just had to find his old suit. He really didn't think it'd be a big deal, and then the door to the apartment was kicked in. What? Peter looked over, stopping in his tracks when he saw who was behind the property damage. The furious Tony Stark made eye contact with Peter, and the kid's heart stopped. Where? Why? You need to tell me why, Tony demands, marching over to Peter, grabbing the kid by the collar of his shirt. Whoa, I don't… What? Peter could barely react before Tony went on. You know damn well what I'm talking about. Spider-Man, where is he? The genius snaps, slamming Peter against a wall. Don't you dare fucking lie to me. There's CCTV, he adds, fuming. He saw the evidence. There was enough to arrest the teen on a murder charge already. He wanted a body to bury. His pseudo-son didn't deserve to lie amongst the garbage. You need to listen, 'cause it doesn't… Peter tries again, grimacing when he was interrupted. Where is he? Tony grits out, his anger dissipating into grief. He didn't want to believe that Spidey was dead, but what else was he supposed to believe? Steve tried to convince him otherwise, but there was too much evidence and he hadn't heard anything from Spidey. He's not dead, Peter says truthfully, looking Tony in the eyes. And I have proof. Proof? Tony says weakly, wanting to believe that his son wasn't dead. He could believe proof. He needed to believe this so-called proof. Proof, Peter confirmed. You just need to let me go for a second. Tony looked at Peter, not exactly wanting to trust this teen. However, the promise of proof made him more curious than anything. After a minute of hesitation, he let go of Peter and took a step back. He watched with distrust as Peter put his hands on the wall. His distrust morphed into horror as the teen put his feet on the wall, sticking to said wall, like Spider-Man. Spidey? Tony breathes out, disgusted with himself. His pseudo-son had been right in front of him, and he hadn't even noticed. What kind of a father figure was he? I'm not dead, Peter says with a weak smile.